Good morning in Shabbat Shalom, day 631, 90 weeks, says the horrific Saturday, horrific Shabbat of October 7th, where over 6,000 inhumane, barbaric, rapist, modern-day Nazis, monsters infiltrated Israel, started at military bases where the soldiers that were defending Israel were outnumbered by the terrorists. The terrorists attacked brutally the soldiers while they're filming it with the GoPros. One of the soldiers that were killed that day is my distant cousin, Shira Shochat. May she rest in peace and her memory forever be a blessing. In Nachat Loz's military base. Then they continued to the kibbutzim, to the communities, the peaceful communities, the communities that for the most part the people who live there advocated for peace and were helping Palestinians, were bringing in Palestinians to work, taking them to medical appointments. Didn't help them that they were on the side of the Palestinians. The Palestinians that they massacred them in the most brutal ways possible. They went from a house to a house and called the people to go out of their homes and massacre them. In cases where they couldn't get in, they just set the houses on fire. They tortured them so brutally. Families, torturing the parents in front of the children, or torturing the children in front of the parents, tying families together, raping women and young girls so brutally to the level that the pelvis bones were broken. And then they found the Nova Music Festival, where there were just young people, beautiful people, went there to dance for peace. They didn't show any mercy. The atrocities that they committed on the young people of the Nova Music Festival is horrific things that you can never even imagine that exist. And then they kidnapped 251 people and are still holding till this day 50 people for 631 days, 90 weeks, under unimaginable torture. Thankfully, majority of them are not alive and not been going through this torture for as long, but we have estimation of about 20 that are still alive and desperately need our help. The rest who are not alive, we need to bring them all home. We are here every morning, never giving up, to demand basic human rights, common sense. Let our people go. All 50 hostages, once, in one phase, one bus, all of them together, and no one is left behind. And Israel should give up nothing. Enough giving up terrorists, enough giving up what the terrorists want, giving them power, letting them stay in power. We must do whatever we need in order to live. President Trump said yesterday,
Gaza he's asking about, and we think within the next week we're going to get a ceasefire.
In a week, we will see. Apparently, the Trump administration is putting pressure on Israel to do a ceasefire. They want to achieve peace, and that's what we want. We want to live in peace. But we also want all of our hostages back home, and we also want to continue living in Israel. That means Hamas cannot stay in power. So I really hope that the same pressure that is put on Israel is also put on Hamas to surrender, to give up the delusional ideology that they will annihilate Israel, which will never happen. We demand the pressure on Hamas to let our people go and to give up and to let Gaza live with no terrorism, without brainwashing them and holding them hostage, using them as human shields, all for the purpose of annihilate Israel and annihilate Jews. Over in Hamas charter, they didn't state we are against Israelis or we against Zionists. They are against Jews. They want to annihilate Jews in Israel and anywhere around the world. And that's why we must stand up to this and ensure that this ideology is eradicated from the face of the earth. We will continue to do whatever we need to defend ourselves. As our Prime Minister Golda Meir, the first female Prime Minister of Israel in the 1970s, she said that we rather live and we don't care about bad image. We will do whatever we need to make sure that we live in an ancestral homeland, Israel. On this Shabbat, I want to wish everyone a continuous peaceful Shabbat. For the IDF soldiers to be safe wherever you are, complete your task, and come back home safely. For the 50 hostages to either be rescued or released as soon as possible and come back home finally. For the alive to reunite with your families, and for the unalive to finally get the respectful burial you deserve, and for your family to be able to mourn, sit Shiva. And for the Jewish nation around the world and here in New York City specifically, be strong, resilient, and proud, and remember that there are so many nations, regimes, empires that try to annihilate us from generation to generation. They keep rising, but we keep standing strong and defending ourselves and doing whatever we need to continue thrive. We will continue living in an ancestral homeland, Israel, from the Jordan River all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. Am Israel will always be. Am Israel Chai forever. Shabbat Shalom.